Hi, I'm Turner, and this is Indian Hen Outdoors. And what we have here today, this is a beautiful Savage Model 10, lovely wood stock with a very nice scope on it. That's not too unusual. What is unusual is what this is chambered in. This is chambered in 270 Winchester Short Magnum. 270 Short Mag is kind of fallen by the wayside, but let's point out the high points of it and maybe why you would want one, and kind of explain maybe why it didn't catch on as much as some of these other cartridges. And there are several reasons for that. Now, that being said, what is 270 Winchester Short Mag? Well, it is a .277 caliber bullet, same bullets you would find in regular 270 Winchester, but different case. This is actually a 300 Winchester Short Mag that's been neck down. That's how it was created, and it was kind of on the not the first, but it was on that first wave of people experimenting with cartridges and giving them that steep shoulder in a short case, kind of like you see with 6.5 Creedmoor. So as you can see here, we've got that steep shoulder, kind of like 6.5 Creedmoor and 6.8 Western and all these. So this, because of that steep shoulder and it being loaded to a really high pressure, you get magnum performance out of a short action. You see, this is a short action rifle, unlike the 270 Winchester, which is based on the 30-06, of course. You have this shorter action, which means some people like that better. They don't like the big long action of a 30-06, 270, whatever. And with that, I would imagine there's a bit of weight savings. You've got a shorter bolt. Ballistically, not the case, because the case does not share anything with the 270 Winchester. The bullet is, but the case itself, the length of it, shares nothing with it. But ballistically, to get an idea of like what does this cartridge do, it is a 270 Winchester on steroids. It's flatter shooting, faster, more energy. Everything you love about the old 270, the 270 Short Mag does better. Let me use my handy dandy cheat sheet here. These are roundabout numbers as always. This is just to give you a ballpark. This pushes a 90 grain bullet around 3,700 feet per second, which is screaming, which would put your muzzle energy a little over 2,700 foot-pounds. 140 grain bullet, which is going to be kind of the sweet spot between 130, 150 grain. You're still looking at around 3,200 feet per second, but it bumps up your muzzle energy to a little over 3,200 pounds. So very impressive. Now, all of this sounds incredible. You get all the things you love about the 270 Winchester, flat shooting, you got plenty of knockdown, and this is more. It's faster, it's harder hitting. It's almost as potent as the infamous 270 Weatherby Magnum. Now, all of that sounds fantastic. So why didn't it catch on? Why? You may be looking at this and go, I've never heard of this cartridge. There are some interesting reasons for that. So I think this could be, I think it's about 50-50. There are some theories out there why this didn't catch on. I think it's about 50-50 from the two reasons I'm about to say, but one of the reasons could be during the time this was introduced, we were really starting to see these steep-shouldered cartridges, or cases rather. Fast twist barrels were not as prominent as they are now. To really get the most out of these really efficient new style cases and projectiles, you want to be able to push a higher grain, longer bullet, with a higher ballistic coefficient, which means you need a faster twist rate in your barrel to stabilize that longer bullet. When this came out, they were still utilizing the traditional 1 in 10 twist rate like a lot of your other rifles were using, and it really couldn't get the most out of this cartridge. In order to get it flat shooting, it was that old school mentality of we're going to push this bullet as hard as we can. So that being said, if one was so inclined, again, I've never done this, I'm not a gunsmith, if you could get somebody to make you a custom barrel and a faster twist rate, start experimenting with some higher grain, high BC bullets, you could probably get some even more outstanding performance. I feel like there's a little bit left on the table in its stock form. Now, that being said, why don't you see any rifles chambered in these? They're still making ammo as of this video, which is the year of our Lord 2025. Well, you can thank a man by the name of Rick Jameson. You see, wildcatters, let me back up. Wildcatters are individuals who experiment necking down and necking up and experimenting with hand loads and making new cartridges. This process has been done so much, it's kind of a accepted practice. It's really hard to patent a new cartridge because there's so much experimentation in these Wildcat cartridges, and a lot of people, they get their name attached to it, but you really don't see patents attached to it. It's not really a thing. You know, different cartridges share so many individual characteristics and so many cases, and a lot of times so many cartridges use the same bullet. There's not a lot to patent. It's kind of a weird deal. That being said, one Rick Jameson, in his infinite wisdom, somehow figured out a way to patent his new cartridge, which was the 270 Winchester short mag. So as the story was explained to me, Mr. Rick tried to sell this to Winchester, and I guess they declined. There was a bit of back and forth, and somehow, with his patent he had filed for, a legal team, a court, sided with him that Winchester producing this without his permission or whatever was in fact copyright infringement. He worked out some kind of deal, some kind of settlement, that he would get royalties on every rifle ever made in this round and on the ammunition sales. And that is why in the year 2025 there are no manufacturers producing rifles in this cartridge. That is also why to this day Hornady refuses to make ammunition for this gun. All that legal jargon aside, if you really like the idea on paper of the 270 short mag, fret not. I have a new suitor to take its place. It's called the 6.8 Western. Now, the 6.8 Western, using modern technology, you get those faster twist rate barrels. It's really got a soft spot in the hearts of hunters out west now. It's really caught on. And you can buy new rifles chambered in this round. It's popular enough that you can go to the store and order you a new rifle chambered in that cartridge. You get very similar performance as the 0270. All that being said, if you can procure one of these, maybe you can use the fact that ammo is scarce as a bargaining chip to get it for a really reasonable price. It's a great firearm. It's a great cartridge. If you want those same benefits, but you can't find one or you're scared to find ammo, go get a 6.8 Western. That about wraps it up for me. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps out. Until next time, God bless.